And we're back. Welcome to the
Sons of Aries podcast.
Nice. I'm going to stop pointing eventually when we do this.
No, I like it because I like to be prompted
reminded
to say it.
To say it. Okay, lovely.
Because it sort of puts me on the spot. I'm like, yeah.
And you are?
Jason Cox.
I'm Matthew Brown.
And I'm Dan Severi.
Beautiful. Today, I'm going to defer to you two a little bit for this one. We're going to talk about, again, jumping off the kind of personality and psychology theme in relation to video game types and our interest in like sort of broad role-playing games.
Something we've all done in the past for quite a lot, so something we can all sort of lean back to in relation to our personalities and what we like, what we don't like, or where we feel comfortable.
What kind of games do I play? With so the two broad categories I have in my mind are like RPG and then sort of like more linear storylines, sort of where you're more directed. It's kind of an enclosed game rather than something.
You're led down the path rather than
right.
being
Well,
led.
it kind of works actually with plenty of different genres. So if we're talking about how your actual self is manifested in the game world, if you like, it works really well with, Call of Duty, particularly or a battle royale that's team based, or like a sports game. It can kind of shine out in any way. We found it to be reasonably consistent.
Taking up a role. That's a bit more of a sort of in-depth sort of because with a game like a FIFA, it's very like you have that game and you don't go anywhere. Whereas obviously like an open world, you've got a lot more choices. Or like a linear sort of platform game, you're led down the path. But so in regards to like FIFA and COD, you're more performing a role in that rather than say amongst as a team.
I've got like a node in like a complex of like a larger game, and
especially with co-op based, obviously,
right. And then I guess you can change your role as well. So like playing FIFA, when we used to do clubs or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like you'd be playing centre forward or defence or whatever it was, or maybe one or two roles, and that would be your area. Because it's also like skill, like based on like what you're actually good at as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But it's more the role or duty to which you're most naturally inclined. So I guess the question we're trying to both ask and answer is, number one, does that reflect your personality in any way? And number two, is that actually along the lines, or is it kind of antithetical? So do you do things that
the opposite.
we wouldn't be able be able to accurately forecast? So we found that when we play particularly like MMO games or things like Baldur's Gate or like mass multiplayer online. So things that would be like World of Warcraft, for example.
Yeah.
Where obviously you
choose a class.
Okay, right.
And that's kind of you set down that pathway.
Yeah, you're filling a role, like whether it be damage or tank or support, that sort of thing.
So I think for those kind of games, we actually do line up fairly well. But he's always the selfish, slutty damage dealer.
That's me, by the way, Jason.
Yeah, Jason is the glass cannon.
Yeah, the glass cannon is the best example of that. I always like to be like the big mage slinger.
Big guns.
Yeah.
The mage slinger.
Mage slinger, yeah. The spell slinger.
Throw mages in.
He's got a catapult and wizards just get trebucheted over the walls.
I'm a wizard.
Fetch a mage.
So have you, Matt, ever played anything like that? Do you have any data set to base anything
No,
off?
I've never played anything like World of Warcraft. I've watched people play it. I haven't
That's
played
because Matt had sex before he was an adult.
To be fair, we've never played it either.
Similar enough. Hey, come on, ESO, for fuck's sake. It's not cool, is it?
Yeah. But it's not Warcraft. So
we can still
at least
we
step up above it.
Yeah.
We can still look at ourselves in the mirror in the morning, thankfully.
Yeah. Well, so hang on, so is World of Warcraft not held in high regard? Is that not like a cool game?
Sort of like OG Dork game.
Okay, right.
Like full Dork.
Yeah.
But we're also just arseholes. Okay. For like the nerd gaming world, we are the dickhead school bullies.
Chads. We're like toe dippers.
No, not quite toe dippers. I guess
I
people
would
disagree.
be a toe dipper.
But just the people were like, we're too cool for that arbitrary
Yeah, no, we didn't
section
play
of the market.
Warcraft. We just played a lot of other.
Lots of other. Okay, no.
Yeah.
No, so nothing like that. I kind of avoid, because this is what started the conversation earlier.
Mhm.
I was saying that I've kind of always avoided RPGs
Yeah.
or role playing games because I find myself not being invested in the grander narrative enough to warrant the investment in time
To maintain interest.
Yeah. Well, to like engage in the different kind of conversations you'd have, to do your, I don't know, your all the tiny details of like leveling up your instruments, and like I always found that just way too much shit to do. I just wanted to just sit down, play a game for a few hours, and then come away again, enjoy a narrative, but not have to put a week or so into it before I can really get going.
So open world games, generally a lot more intense required. Like a lot of time is required to sort of explore them because they are inherently just that way with the massive open world. So they are a lot more sort of diverse in their aspects, tend to be, with like say the skills and stuff. You have like 10-15 skills sometimes to level up, or something like RuneScape, massive open world, obviously go on when you want. There's something like 15 to 20 skills at that point,
probably
to level up
odd now and there.
Yeah, and there's probably loads more now. But so there's so much you can do with all the different quests and quest lines. Often have like interlocking quests. What do you call it?
Yeah, depending
Something
on
like that.
what you're talking about.
Where they all like tie in to one main narrative.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like those little mini side
Yeah.
quests.
Whereas like
they're all
what,
kind of
what you're
adjacent.
talking about, like more direct linear games, they follow like you will go here, then you will go here, then you go A, B, C, D, and you go through the game like that, rather than being able to spread out and going here, there, and everywhere, and following different lines however you want, sort of thing.
I guess I find the games that are kind of spliced between these two the most interesting. So like, I don't know, games like maybe like an Assassin's Creed or something.
Okay.
So it's like,
not true sandboxy, is it?
yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
like, but so there's like the story.
Yeah.
There's loads of stuff you can go and explore if you want. There's some other random missions.
Yeah.
But then there's also the main mission quests that you can kind of follow along. I guess I'm drawn.
Yeah,
more
the
to
older
the-
ones are more like that.
Yes.
Then they went a lot more like open world.
Yes, yeah, that's
but
what.
still like holding on a little bit to that more linear.
Well, that's when I stopped
like
playing.
when they do areas.
That's when I stopped playing.
Yeah. Okay.
They did go a bit more RPG-ish.
Yeah.
But is your aversion to that kind of because you want to just kind of know what to do, so you have a goal, or are you kind of just bored by? It's kind of like an ennui because there's so much to do, or is it what I get? Like when I've tried to play The Witcher, it was I found it intimidating because there was just so much shit you have to know and figure out. So fuck this.
Yeah,
I ain't doing that.
I tried to play The Witcher about 2 years ago, and I had exactly that. Like the bit that I played, I enjoyed. Like I think it was because like kind of the TV program had come out, and I hadn't played the game before, but I heard everyone talk about it.
Oh yeah.
So I thought I'd give it a crack. And also because I think because I wasn't, like you said, there's so much to do to kind of get a grasp of the game to play it effectively. I found myself at like a mini sub boss kind of thing, not able to get past to defeat it or to get past it because I hadn't grasped the game well enough to like actually maneuver my way through the levels. And also because I think I've been playing Elden Ring about a year or so ago, and which I enjoy. Actually, is one of the ones I played the longest. I played that quite a lot, just for the spells really, and I got to a point where I guess my aversion is that I don't like watching myself do the same thing over and over again for the sake of like leveling up kind of thing.
Oh,
like,
okay,
you have to like accrue runes to like
That's called the grind.
Mm.
gradually.
The grind.
The grind is something I
Yeah.
struggle with. Because at first it's fine because the gaps in between levels up are fairly short.
Yeah.
And then they get longer and longer and longer, and you have to put more and more time. It's like a law of diminishing returns, basically, just manifested in a game. And like I caught myself one day, just like I'd been sat there for like 2 hours, just killing the same frog things, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, go outside, go and do something."
Yeah.
And that's not to slag off people who enjoy that. It's just like temperamentally, I was like, I can't keep doing this. Not to make too much.
No,
of it, just
but
like-
that kind of makes sense. It aligns with what you were saying. about your kind of earlier existential struggles with trying to fit into the conventional boom 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 path laden school system, for example.
Yeah.
Because
The grind.
what
Do
is
your work,
school
man.
but doing a grind? It is
No.
though.
Yeah,
To try and get your
It
level
is.
up. And it's like, fuck you, I'm not doing that because now I'm bored and what am I actually learning from this?
Right, yeah. That's an interesting insight.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Occurred to me.
but it happens all the time. Like I went back to Skyrim, which I love it because I'm a big Bethesda bum boy. But you get to a point where you've reached a certain power level and it's like, right, I know I have to do enchanting, otherwise I'm gonna have a suboptimal playthrough. And then you have to spend hours like kind of buying all the soul gems and fucking enchanting all the stuff and disenchanting gear, and it does get boring because it's like, okay, I get it, I understand the mechanics now. Like I'm not learning anything. It's just keep smashing these, and eventually the number will go up again.
Yeah.
So I get why you wouldn't like that. Now, in terms of like your investment in the thing or your enjoyment, what is keeping you locked in your flow, I suppose? Is it like you need that mission or that goal to shoot for?
I just enjoyed the story, like access to like the kind of like it's probably a little bit of expediency. Like I just want that fucking quick little mission story thing. I want it to be like challenging, but not like I need to spend 2.5 weeks thinking about it.
Like you got to be a virgin to
Challenging.
win. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm trying to think of examples. Yeah, something like you can play around with like the difficulty setting. I guess like I've been playing Dead Space recently, which I've really enjoyed playing again. Because you can just make it difficult for yourself. Like you can make it so that the resources are scarce and just the monsters are ferocious and they do a lot of damage. And you have to actually think about what you're doing. You can't just run through and gun and hope that there's loads of ammo laying around. You've got to like use the limbs of the creatures to kill them rather than just having ammo and stuff. And I like that, and I've really enjoyed it. But it's very enclosed, and the amount of like exploring you can do is like minimal, like next to none. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's like I need this. I think it's I'm struggling to place it.
Maybe is it like with open world stuff? Is it like too much of a gap between each sort of main narrative, like checkpoint? Are you looking for that like next cutscene or something like that to move it along like sooner, basically?
Not necessarily. It's like going back to Assassin's Creed, like the ones in Italy with Firenze, Ezio de Firenze, whatever his name is.
El Dottore.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah.
I like those games. I spent the most time committing myself to like completing it as high a percentage as I could with regards to like collecting all the feathers or all the side bits or whatever it is. And like I kind of been what I really like about those kinds of games, and I've been playing. I downloaded Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Unilad.
Yeah, and it's like those kind of games where you've got like little just areas where you can go and get involved or like just like deploy your skills or play around with different tactics or use different mechanics or weaponry on different kind of enemies, but like kind of drop in and drop out. Like you can kind of and then when you want to, you can go do like a main story mission kind of thing. I guess I like to just be able to just, again, comes back to my whimsy perhaps. I just as and when I feel like doing a story mission, I want to be able to do a story mission, and then when I want to go for a little wonder, I want to go for a little wonder. And I want both of those things to be available and interesting as and when I would like it. And I think it's why I've struggled playing with games recently, because I haven't, like new ones, I don't come across games that are like that for me, I guess. I don't play that many new games anymore, but
yeah.
It does sound like you'd enjoy Skyrim or Fallout, to be fair, then, because that's got exactly that.
Yeah.
Where Fallout in particular, not especially complex mechanics. You can do science or guns or bashing people. You got a main story, there's stuff you can find when fucking about, there's like side quests, there's interesting factions with a story, but it's not like it oppressively puts you on rails either. So that'd be my recommendation to you, like a Fallout game.
Okay.
I think you'd enjoy that a lot.
What about yourself?
What I enjoy?
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually would prefer open world, definitely. Open world sandbox. I like to go and just muck around if I wish. If I like, yeah. More, I prefer co-op games more recently over competitive or single player.
Yeah.
Because
You never seem to like competitive games.
no, I'm not. Like I didn't mind COD years ago, but through time it just got a bit like. It's very sweaty now, as we know. Like so, you have to be so switched on to do well, and obviously because when you're doing shit, you just hate it. You're just not enjoying the game. So
I'm confident I spend
Yeah.
more time in the gulag watching than actually playing the game.
yeah,
100%.
it's very like shit or bust, isn't it? Something like Warzone because you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Warzone's tricky. 'Cause
Yeah.
it is like you need to be like otherwise you spend 20 minutes
Yeah, just
going
fucking
through
around.
boxes, getting weapons,
Yeah,
and then
and
you
then
die,
just die straight
and then
away.
it's like, well, pointless.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because there's no consistent world. That's what I hated about Warzone eventually.
Yeah, so that's
Same
something
shit
good.
over and over and over again.
Mm.
Dull.
Yeah.
And I get quite obsessed with stats, so I had terrible stats, so it was just depressing. It was just like, you are inferior, you are a worthless
Yeah.
being. Because bearing in mind, during like the first lockdown, that was all we were doing. There
Oh,
was
yeah.
nothing else to do. It was just
Yeah.
Warzone.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, I
Pretty much.
Those sad times.
And I actually find Warzone, I found it very
Warzone and
existentially
zombies.
troubling. Because it was
Yeah.
like, I'm trying
Later
really,
on.
really hard to get better at this. And I'm objectively, there's the number in front of your face getting shitter the harder you try.
Yeah,
So if you listen to the previous
just everyone
episode,
getting
that's a
better.
nightmare.
that's what that was. Everyone was just getting so much better, watching loads of videos on how to do stuff, how to get better.
So was I was just shit.
Yeah.
This is the problem. with it,
People
like,
put a lot
you're
more
just shit.
effort and time into it though, because that's what you get with competitive games.
Sure.
That's- People start to
Mm,
get
yeah.
more competitive, and it
Get
just
skill
compounds.
gaps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then everyone's trying to make themselves better.
Pain.
But yeah, co-op games are I think the best. Something like Destiny was always good, like working together to defeat like the common enemy, which is just the computer.
Hive. Yeah, you never liked the Crucible, which is the
Oh no,
like
yeah, the PvP.
PvP element of Destiny. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Which
full of
I
shit.
didn't mind it, to be fair. But the problem with Destiny is, to use that term again, diminishing returns. Because it is, it's a looter shooter,
Oh yeah,
essentially. So you do the same 2-3 reskinned missions over and over again,
Right,
trying to
right.
yeah, it gets
roll
old.
for a better gun.
Yeah,
And after a while, it's just like, okay, fuck this.
yeah,
Yeah, I found that with going back to Wildlands.
yeah.
Because you're trying to capture the areas of Bolivia, and it's just the same process 20
different
times
areas,
over.
yeah.
Different areas, slightly different difficulties.
It's
different.
it's a difficult one for games to overcome. Is that
Sure.
they're good for a certain amount of hours, but then you get to a point where you're like, I have done this game now, and it's difficult to keep.
I think it's quite sudden.
maintain that.
Particularly
Yeah,
I've noticed for you.
it can. Yeah,
You're well into it, and then but
yeah.
I quite want to finish the game,
Mm.
but I'm only playing co-op. And he's just like, no, I don't like it anymore.
It is a
And then
weird,
he fucking sells
arbitrary-
it, so we can't come back to it.
arbitrary line. Yeah, where it gets to, and I'm just like, oh.
No, we haven't
done
been
this.
answering the essay question, which is how well do these habits and preferences relate to
That was, yeah.
Oh yeah.
certain
So
types? And
well,
I
actually,
confirm that they do.
I can say that. So yeah. So going back to I prefer open world. Do we want sort of games, and that goes perfectly with my personality, I think, because I do like to have my freedom and not be tied down. So I think that just fits well. Dan's laughing at
I'm
me.
laughing at him because it's so on time, it's so on brand, it's perfect.
Yeah, don't control me, man.
I just want to be me and do
Yeah,
shit
Wanna
my
do
way.
own thing.
But that's like not different to my ultimate answer
Yeah.
really. Like it's kind of the same. But
Yeah.
the game types we enjoy are slightly different.
Yeah.
Like in a kind of way.
Yeah,
So I've never really played co-op games. Maybe once or twice.
yeah.
I can't even-
That hits on a different thing. So the co-op is.
Yeah, yeah.
I
the
like
sandbox
to-
is the kind of
So
don't tie
with
down.
with competitive, you are one man on his own. Even with your mates, you still fight against them. Whereas I get more enjoyment being in the team, but also being like maybe the best one on the team, the special boy.
Oh, special boy.
Yeah. or just someone that has a speciality. I'd hate to be
Right,
like
right.
a jack of all trades.
So it's kind of like it's almost like the controlled competitive aspect. because you're kind of competing in a way to be kind of top
So I liked
pride.
Warzone
Yeah.
because it was competitive, but it was also with mates.
Yeah.
Didn't like playing it on my own, but I liked it with a team because then I could, it's it's good enjoyment anyway because, you're playing with your mates and stuff and doing well. There's no better
social aspect to it.
like winning a really hard game of FIFA on co-op with mates on pro clubs or winning a game of Warzone was like the best feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it was the bollocks.
You were screaming.
Yeah, it was genuinely like
We have bested you.
enjoyment.
Yeah.
And that could never be topped by winning on your own. I don't think.
No.
Because I think winning with your mates is the best thing
Yeah,
you can
100%,
do.
100%.
Oh, that's a very impassioned speech. I actually found that quite nice.
Oh, nice.
That was nice to listen to.
No, they're definitely good for that kind of social aspect. Like there's like you said, the kind of feeling of like you cheering each other on. There's one of you left. You're getting pointers.
Yeah,
from
no matter
people
who's there
sticking to-
on the end, we've all gone through it.
Yeah.
And whoever's at the end, you're all with them. It's like Harry Kane taking a penalty in the.
I knew you were going to say that because I was going to say
Yeah, it is. You're all with
but-
that man. Like the whole team is with him.
Yeah, you bonded.
Yeah.
See, what I found quite fun, good to go back to the Warzone days, is I think I'm intrinsically more competitive than you. But do you remember we used to play those little games where we'd play with the Xbox lot as well? Like this little party games, where I was the worst at the actual game, but I used to win every single time on those individual ones. And I think the reason I've worked out is because I knew all of your patterns and exactly what you do and how you move. So I could just see a nameless character and go, fucking bet that's Jace.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a car door on his back. But I knew how to mug you off.
Yeah, you knew what.
I knew how to mug Jake off and stuff, and I thought that was really, really funny. But, but I do agree that the team spirit is the best one.
Yeah.
If I can do a personal story, the best one I did was it was on a Warzone, one of the early days, where I think you'd gone to bed because you were a key worker. I'm saluting him here. We shouldn't forget that shit. Because I knew everyone would when it finished, by the way. But anyway, that's the same.
Oh yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
So it was just me with Lacey and Sean playing one last game at night, and they both died stupidly at the beginning. And you get one of those ball ache of a rolls on a map where there's just not a buy station. You can't get these fuckers in for love nor money. So I belly crawled on my own under hedges to the very last circle and just popped up and shot the last guy, and that was like the best feeling I have to like, you fucking idiots, get on my back, I'll do it.
Nice.
But it speaks down to like particularly in blokes a very primal urge for that cooperative teamwork.
Yeah.
Especially when it involves like we were better than the other team, therefore
The
we
tribe,
are more valid.
Our tribe versus that tribe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
very...
It's such a primal
We won,
thing.
you suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Like, and now take your resources and your territory. Fuck you.
Virtually.
But it doesn't feel like that in the moment.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But yeah, you're both very on brand with that. It's interesting that you have very similar kind of wants in a game.
Yeah.
Which would make sense because you two are actually opposite types of each other. But opposites are much more similar than people think.
Yeah, it sounds like like you say, the binary opposite would be the most different, but yeah, it doesn't all work out like that. It's like you say, it's the functions.
With opposites, the other is implied by the other one, so there's a connection between.
As above, so below.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So like the notion of like dark and light, for example, or good or bad, right? Because they're both defined by being not the other one. So like implicitly, in the idea of one of them is the idea of the other. So there's a connection. There's a connection between the two ideas.
Right, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, because the ideal for all of these philosophies is essentially the way to do it is balance and meaning in the middle.
Mm.
That's the kind of end game of the learning that one should do for this. But you express similar things, but in a different way, which is interesting because Jace, were very much on like, I want to do it my way, explore the actual world on my terms. Whereas Matt, you are much more like, you want to have like a whimsical mosey around but experiment and explore when you want to. So it's kind of similar.
It's the same idea. It's exactly the same idea.
But the execution and the kind of wording behind it is all the difference.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, I think so. They do. I mean, they do just sound like exactly the same to me because, I mean, mine is just like I guess like a bit more airy fairy. Just like I'm just gonna go over here now. Or it's like when my dad.
It depends what what you're looking to do when you're doing that. Like, what are you exploring for? What's your goal? What are you sort of hoping to find or whatever?
Is it just like an instinctive mosey around, essentially?
Don't particularly have one. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not always. Yeah, I guess sometimes I like to be able to think while I'm doing something, like about something else. So sometimes I want to be engrossed in a game, and sometimes I want to be doing something, but thinking about something else. Right? It's just like this is like one of the reasons why I've struggled listening to music whilst I've been studying, while I've been away, because I like listening to music, but I can't, because I've been way more cerebral recently, I can't listen to anything with too heavy a bass or too lyrical, because I can't.
You start thinking about other shit.
No, I can't think while I'm listening to that kind of music.
Oh, okay.
Like I can't think about something like a topic or read a book or think about
it's lyrics. Someone's talking in your ear.
Yeah, well, yeah. Because all the beats too.
I think I relate to that. Yeah, I don't like having conversation really with music going on.
Right, but I'd like to listen to music.
Yeah.
But I would like to listen to music and think simultaneously, which is so I leant more towards things like classical, jazz, and like lo-fi, and where I like the kind of like soft beat, no lyrics, and like I can have those on and read a book and think without it detracting. So like I guess I like the same things from games that I like to be able to. Sometimes I want to listen to a song with lyrics or a heavy beat or something and then be engrossed by it because I don't want to think about something else. But then other times I want to play a game where I can be playing the game, like going through some kind of narrative or some kind of tasks or something, but also be able to think about something else. So I guess I like those games where I can dip in and out of that. I can kind of go for like in Assassin's Creed, I could just go for a wander, climb some things, collect some stuff, and I could be like not really paying that much attention to the game, and I can be kind of thinking
and
not
missing something.
Yeah. But then when you're playing the story missions, you need to be paying attention because there's historical characters or there's whatever. Yeah. So I guess that's what I want when I want to be able to like jump back and forth. But that doesn't sound too dissimilar to me than I don't control me kind of thing. Like I want to be able to go and do what I.
For me, a game is like a type of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I don't get much from a linear game because it's like it's holding your hand too much. It's like come down this way because this is the you may have to fight enemies and there's stuff in the way or there's puzzles to solve. But for me, I don't think I like those because it's just too like there's not much creativity or imagination.
You may as well just watch a film.
Yeah, it's too like.
Did you play God of War?
No, because I don't think I'd like it.
Right, for that reason.
Yeah, because it is that. Yeah,
that's why I ask.
It's almost like faux, not open world, but like faux. I don't know. It's also with like those sort of games tend to have like quite. It's really difficult to explain. Like most people at the end of the game, or pretty much everyone, is at the same point. With their skills, their weapons, and all that, and I think knowing that it's boring, and I want to play a game where I can be basically be different. Like I can play in a way that when we get to the end, I will be in a different state than other people.
Most people who've played the game, kind of thing. Okay.
Whether it be what skills I've chosen, so they're the best ones. I like the.
So that basically makes the game a surrogate of your life pattern.
Yeah.
So this game represents. So you basically had your life in this game, and you've not just had the box.
I did it.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Like you've not just sat in a cubicle your whole life, got married, watched telly, and died.
It's the same way I hate those games where you get to the end of the game or towards the end of the game and you've unlocked like everything. And it doesn't matter how you started. Like you can unlock everything. I prefer those games where if you spec into stuff, you should be locked into that play not
Right.
that play
Well, there's
style. 'Cause
trade-offs.
yeah, like if you do this, you can no longer do this because that's a sacrifice.
Yes, yeah.
You need, and I think that is a good aspect that game should have. That if you do magic, you can't then be a brilliant swordsman in the say that sort of game.
Right.
So when you get to the end, a lot of games are like, because they're sort of pandering a little bit to like, oh, people
Well,
want
they're
to
trying to
be
please
free to,
everybody.
so that you get to the end and you're like, oh, you're basically the bollocks to everything and you can do whatever you want. It's a bit like,
Yeah.
for me, I don't like that. So I think that's why I like
That's fair enough.
open
I
world.
appreciate
It kind of
that.
ruins the immersion.
Yeah.
I think. So again, to go back to dipping back into Skyrim that I've been playing, it's the same thing. So
Yeah.
you know, obviously with the obvious caveat, everyone knows that the big battles in the game have like 8 blokes in them. You know, for me playing it feels a bit silly when I've got to a stupid power level, and they're like, oh, it's really important that we do this little shithousey thing and send a fake message to this person, so the 5 soldiers who are going to attack that don't attack that. Like, I can just waltz in there and kill everyone in the world and be Emperor of the Ashes. Like, so why am I? It's stupider than you have to follow the same shit, because it breaks the immersion like that. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So what about? We probably already covered it by the kind of examples you've given, but like what would be your preferred game type? Like what the less tied to your personality, or other than just Emperor of all?
Which is my person.
Dungeon Master. No, Dungeon Keeper, wasn't it? That was the one where you're just you're basically the leader of the dungeon, like the basically god.
That's Dungeon Master. That's correct.
Down here, I am God.
Dungeon Master is the one who
Dungeon
makes up
Keeper.
the stories and shit. Is that
No,
what you're
I'm
talking
thinking of Dungeon Master. No, Keeper. Dungeon Keeper.
Oh,
That's
no,
the one.
Dungeon Master like the Dungeons and Dragons.
No, that's not what I'm thinking
Okay,
of.
fair
Yeah. I'm thinking
Oh, I
of
don't know
where
what
you
he's talking
you basically build a dungeon and you have like minions to do all the digging for you, like and you've got like the heart of the world and stuff. Anyway, it's like an Overlord game, and you're
Minecraft.
God basically.
Cool, right.
Yeah. Anyway,
that sounds about right.
go on.
Sort of.
But for me, I just need to know what I'm doing on a thing. So if I don't understand it or feel intimidated by the mechanics or feel like I'm going to do it really shit because of stuff I don't understand, I get quite existentially angsty about opportunity cost. I'm like, oh, that could have been more optimal, and I might have done something which means I have fucked that up forever, and that's it. I can't go back and do that better. But well, you've seen me, James, put on in games where when we're not working towards anything, I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm just looking at my phone or just like fucking about. But when I know there's something to be done, we're building this, we have to go there, we need to unlock this thing to have the proficiency to go and do that next bit.
Oh yeah, then you're
Great.
zoned in. Yeah.
And ideally, if there's a way I can use some kind of innovative strategy or tactic, where it's not like you mentioned with God of War, for example, those kind of things, or like I know Uncharted, for example. Well, you climb the rock because Nathan Drake's the best at climbing, and you've got a pistol because you can use pistol.
Yeah.
That's fucking boring.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to, with our Valheim stuff.
Oh yeah.
I want to be able to be bloody stupid with it.
Yeah.
I want to be able to.
You want to get creative and have
Yeah.
ideas and have different strategies and work out.
And, if I want to
shit, yeah.
shithouse the AI to a way they can't win, that's great because I've thought of that.
Yeah.
Or if I want to rebuild like a realistic medieval fortress, I want to be able to do that. Like you say, not have the handheld in a certain way.
Mm.
And I think that's one of the reasons why, particularly I started to go back to it, dislike Warzone after the early days, when all the information and stuff had come out and all like the sweaty YouTube tutorials and all that were there. My advantage was gone, because my advantage is in a lack of information setting, the tactics we came up with, because we basically based them on real world stuff, we won a lot because we played sensibly, like you would do in that real life setting.
Yeah.
If you didn't know where you were going to get shot from, we were doing really well then. But then basically everyone jumped the skill level up so much just because they looked at all the tutorials. Like it didn't matter if you got the drop on them.
Do this.
They do the equivalent of like a backflip over your head and then stick a spear up your arsehole.
With
400
also the
meters.
knowledge of where to move and how
Yeah.
to move and all that. So, like you say, that advantage was lost.
I'm quite consistent that in the games we've played, when there's a level playing field, we have a very good chance of winning. But it's when it gets stupid like that, and basically when the thinking's been done for other people,
Yeah.
that's when I can't be asked for it anymore. Because there's nothing I can do
Yeah.
in this world to influence the fact that he's just better at shooting than me. and for me that's kind of boring. So that's why I really get into, like everyone who's into it does, for the first 3 or 4 months of Football Manager, it's what tactic can I make that's the bollocks here, that is going to win everything, and that cannot possibly have any flaws exposed in any way. But let's say if the second there was like an objective god tactic that was the best, no one could beat it, there is absolutely no way in that algorithm that you could make a better one, the game would be dead.
Yeah.
And that's to me what happened.
That's like using cheats on GTA. It's like,
yeah.
It's too easy.
Yeah,
It's
exactly
boring.
that.
Hated that. I really hated that they were available because it was tempting to use, and then it's just like, oh, well, the game's
And then the
boring
second
now.
you do that, it's done.
Yeah.
You do the weapon sheet or you summon
Yeah.
a tank out of the ether.
Yeah, and that's it. It's like,
Yeah, it was fun for a little while.
yeah,
Right,
fun for a piss about.
Use a jetpack or a jet or
Yeah.
like a tank or
Well,
whatever.
San Andreas, the old jetpack.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
like GTA
I
Online,
found that boring.
how much more fun was it when you got a fighter jet on a rampage, when you had to do the thing to break into the military base and avoid getting shot and flip the car specifically over that one gate against the hill.
Yeah.
You know the one. And then you have 5 minutes of a rampage where you get shot down because you deserve that fucking rampage.
Because you were breaking into a military
But if you
base.
just sum it, or when you get too rich and you're like, just call my guy, I've got like 8 Apaches and a fucking aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
It's a bit pointless
Yeah.
at that point. So I guess it's about stuff being earned,
Yeah.
having tangible things that I'm trying to strive for,
Mm-hmm.
and the ability to do innovative stuff that isn't hamstrung.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm actually quite bad, funnily enough, which is off type, for not finishing, not games, but kind of run-throughs of a game. So I play a lot of Civ, which is a strategy game. The second I know I'm going to win, I quit. Because I know at that point, I've done the winning, it's just the boring clicking to actually make it go, you've won, on the screen. Or like on like a Skyrim, when I know, I've made a swordsman, he's the bollocks now. Can't be asked to finish the game. I want to see if I can do like a full evil Palpatine type run. So yeah, I guess it's about ability to innovate with style and just having something I can always shoot for.
Nice.
Which is definitely 100% on brand.
Well, that
For
innovation
Horse.
with style is very similar to your point about not wanting to finishing a run through of a game in a very niche position.
Oh yeah.
The kind of like I don't want to be where everyone else is. I want to
Yeah.
experiment with what's possible within
Yeah.
the game in my own way.
Yeah, I want to do it my way rather than getting to a point where it's just everyone's the same. Yeah. 'Cause
It's not
that's
dissimilar really.
That's very on brand with you as
Yeah.
well. So
But I guess if we to go on to like more team games where you spoke about, I think you want to be the one that without whose particular skill was in place, we couldn't have won.
Oh, I
Not
see.
like you have to be the guy, but that's what it strikes me from the conversations I've had with you more privately, or not privately, shouting down the street probably, about it's not about being the guy, it's about you get that feeling that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't there.
Yeah. Okay.
I was an important part of that.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Which I think is cool. But for me, it's definitely more about the so cliche brand about like what the grand strategy was. Like we used a strategy that and we came up with that no one else had, and through how smart we were, we were able to win that in a way that no one else could have.
Love it when a plan comes together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or like overcoming a maybe better team or side, whatever we're playing, like
outsmarting someone or,
through like you say the strategy.
Is that one that best encompasses that for me was there was a Warzone match with where it was just me, Sean, and this mate of his who was inexplicably an American named Eddie Cabbage, which I think I can say because it's definitely not his real name, and if it is, unlucky mate, you've got screwed there by something.
Your mum.
Really good guys. Oh no, really good guys. Actually, really mechanically good at the game, but fucking tearaways who are not thinking 2 seconds in front of their own arsehole at any point. So it was me kind of like desperately on a leash, like yanking this leash back on both of them the whole game. And they're trying to go.
Yeah, two
like,
fucking Rottweilers.
Should go over there. I'm like, no, don't go over there. And because of basically the strategy that I had them buy into, when we got to the point of winning, because I'd positioned us correctly and they were so good at the shooting, it was like a fucking firing squad, and that was great. I was like, that was me, you shot, and that's all me!
I did no shooting, but it was me.
We just got behind this little wall with a cliff behind us in the last circle, and this other team was stranded in the arse end of nowhere in the middle, and I was like, now! Proper firing squad.
Unleash.
It was great.
Nice.
But this is why I won't use the term, but I object to people hating what's now called the sweaty goal on FIFA. The classic, pass it across the box, there's no defenders and you tap it in. I used to love that goal because that means through our play, we have comprehensively cut you to pieces to the point at which I could literally slap it in with my cock if I wanted. How is that not a good
Slap
goal?
it in with my
How is
cock.
that not a good goal? That we've tactically eviscerated you to the point that
Was it a circumcised cock?
Yeah. If you were in the early 2010s, it may have been. Yes. Or little... Don't vape, kids.
It's Corbyn's favourite goal.
Or the strategy...
Let's not get political.
No, that's not.
The strategy I had for the older FIFA games that I know Jason will remember, or in his nightmares, why he never used to like playing me. Because I realised that if I dribble at a certain angle, no matter if I'm walking at 1 mile an hour, there's absolutely no way in hell he can stop me.
No.
So I just used to say to him, get ready for the weave. And I'd hold down the skill dribbling and just go 45 degrees, left, right, left, right.
There's me swinging him with my
old
legs.
school Chelsea, so it'd be like Essien and like Ramirez trying to cut me down.
Yeah.
And just like, who would have been at that time for United? Probably Anderson. Just like strolling through the whole team and giving it to Van Persie, and just goes boop, and you're like, ah!
Yeah,
Which I can understand because I would be bloody livid.
Oh yeah,
on
it was
the
so
team
frustrating. Because he'd say it as well. He'd be like, "Here comes the weave," and then my eyes would start watering.
Then I'd cry
because I'd get really angry because I knew it was coming.
I was also really good at when you were going through a goal, making sure I swap the players around who were on booking, so there was always someone free to sign them out.
Yeah.
And never get sent off.
No, never get a red card. Swipe me out, last man. So frustrating. Shithouse.
That's like, I'm the worst because I found a shithousey tactic that was unbeatable.
Very
See,
unsportsmanlike.
I never paid that much attention to like the mechanics of games like that, to like hijack them or to just like not hijack.
Manipulate.
Manipulate to the limits of the game for your advantage, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was always more with like COD and FIFA. I was the participation trophy player. like he's just here having a good time. Don't worry about it. He'll score every now and again. Or I was good at defending. I'm good at defending on FIFA, which is again on point for me in actual football.
You actually were a defender.
Better at like you put me in front of the goal, I just become a useless, wacky, wavy, inflatable tube man.
Wacky, wavy, inflatable, arm-flailing two-man. Yeah. To be fair, that was correct for both of us on FIFA as well. We both played our realistic positions, but I guess those positions reflect how you think in real life anyway.
Yeah.
Because you like to be the goal scorer, I have to be the
grand architect.
The kind of playmaker.
Yeah.
This is how I beat people at FIFA. I'm just very good at defending. I can just stop you from scoring goals, and then occasionally get lucky and score one. I'm like, yes.
Park the bus.
And then flat back 11.
That was my only problem on FIFA. My finishing was always dog shit. I just could not ever work it out properly. So my defence was
I think because there was a lot of nuance to it, like a lot of very specific, like where you're positioned and how you have to look. Just when you're about to take the shot, you do have to see your position relative to the ball, to where the goal is, and all three of those basically creates a line: goal, ball, player position.
So basically, I didn't respect the sensory of finishing.
Yeah.
So again, completely on brand. Because that's what it was like.
Never occurred to me.
Exactly. And then I never thought that.
Doing that,
it's like, I press circle and aim that side.
Yeah,
it should
right?
be a goal.
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
it's not fair.
Yeah, your position mattered. Yeah.
Fucking God, these gamers.
Irritating.
Game designers are clever, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm not, clearly.
Yeah, you're whacking the tape. Yep.
Oh, am I making tappy noises? Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. You're not respecting the sensory as we're talking about, which is if anything quite whimsical, and it works. But that's the thing, right? I was okay at defending, not great, not terrible. Midfield phase, flawless, absolutely flawless.
Oh.
up front, fucking terrible.
Yeah, like link up play
Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah,
Which is why the pro clubs suited us really well.
yeah,
Because I could get the whole team to ping pong the ball through midfield and it knew what's way, and then go, there you go, there's a chance.
Yeah, we got quite in depth with the pro clubs, trying to work out how the AI played because it was inconsistent at times. So working out what we could manipulate them to do without actually having control over them, which was obviously
Because it was definitely worse when we controlled them.
Mm. Oh yeah,
Which is quite bizarre, really.
yeah,
We had some heroes.
yeah.
Sandy P. Sandy Pedersen, man. He was a marauding central midfielder.
Yeah, a Mazzala.
Yeah, he just used to get on the end of things.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Not that means much to you, but yeah.
it seems
does to
like
us.
you lost me 2 minutes ago,
Yeah, yeah.
so I'm out of this
Go ahead.
conversation. No, I was
Come back in.
going to bring us back to the essay question.
Yeah.
It seems like we've kind of come full circle
Yeah,
on it
sure.
in terms of our personalities and the kind of games that we like. I've noticed there's a lot of overlap. I mean, I wish there would be,
Yeah.
because I guess the amount of the kinds of games are limited. There's not like a limitless number of game types. It's like, I don't know, in terms of genres, like 7 or 8 different kinds of games. You could, like the sporty ones, the kind of military co-op ones, the like large, MMOs you call them?
Mm.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the
Sandbox.
because
and
of the type of
linear.
people we are, there's millions we haven't touched on, like really in-depth strategy, or things like fucking Minecraft or Dota that Lacey loves, which I could kill myself rather than play, frankly.
Yeah.
So there's so many different types of people and minds that are catered for that we'd never cover because we never play it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't catch one of those people dead playing FIFA.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I mean, it's good that the variety's there for people, like, so that whatever your interest is or whatever your temperament is,
Yeah,
there are
there's a
games for
position
you
for you.
to play.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there are things for you to be drawn to. Go capitalism, eh? Sorry, we said we wouldn't get political.
No, boo!
You can't help it.
No, I can't. Yeah, all right.
So in short, basically, it
Yes.
does corroborate quite
Yeah.
well.
Well, we found, because we actually discussed this after we played plenty of games, and then sort of reverse engineered that
'cause
from
it did make
realising
sense,
what our personalities are like and what sort of things we value, and then reverse engineering to what games we had played in the past and going, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, you were always the support, sort of either tank, support, grand architect, planner, strategist, all that, and I was the guy that sends forward, or the damage dealer, or
To execute.
the executionist,
basically.
or the goal scorer for FIFA, or it was always that way round for us, looking back.
Well, to be fair, you can even see people's personality traits developing within the game themselves. So
Oh yeah.
Sean, who we've mentioned, he's very much monkey see, monkey do, isn't he?
Yeah.
So we all know the cliche of him on Warzone, just smashing the fuck out of windows and like getting us exposed and not being able to understand how the fuck that window got smashed. Or like John with FIFA, where this is his role, he is going to stick to it come hell or high water, whether or not it's beneficial. He will get down the right wing and he will cross it, unless he has a mad one where he just decides he's going to play like 8 positions and then 2-foot someone. And off and go, yeah, fuck you!
Yeah, I'll go red card. Or just score a wonder goal, just out of nowhere. Just like, I fancy this one.
That was my FIFA style. Just took every now and again, go for a run, just have a crack, and just sails in.
Yeah.
You're like, that's never happening again anytime
Yeah,
soon.
that would annoy the shit out of me because I can't plan and account for that.
Oh yeah.
I don't like. For me, the strokes of fortune don't count.
Right.
So it's like we didn't engineer that, so that was jammy.
Like a player with 5 long shots scoring against you on Football Manager as a long shot.
That's just a really shit role that's not fair.
Like a 5'2" attacker beating 6'8" defenders with a header.
Christ.
Yeah.
So that's what makes
Yeah,
me lose my
trampoline.
rag when it's like
Yeah.
the grand meta strategy isn't fair. It doesn't work. Which actually, funny enough,
Nature of the universe
but
is
it
against me.
But it links back to the last video we spoke about there when I was like, the game is bollocks, it doesn't work, the whole thing is shit, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, dead on brand then.
Oh, hello. Someone's pissing against the window.
It does sound like it.
Yes, they're watering the plants.
Oh.
Well, that's better than someone.
It is better than someone pissing.
against
I really thought it was.
Oh, it's not Friday, is it?
But it doesn't count because I couldn't have accounted for that.
No, we also can't see it, so it might not even be happening.
True.
Basically, Jace likes to play the game his own way.
It's just someone tapping against the window.
Matt likes to vibe. I want to control everything that happens and predict it.
Yeah.
So
sure, that's it.
basically, completely and utterly on brand for everyone.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done, everyone.
Well done for being your role.
Yeah, we're all just programmed, and for me, that's extremely comforting.
Beep beep beep.
Beep, 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 Lord. Alright, should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, I think.
Alright.
Good place to
that'll
finish it off. Nice, this has been the
Sons of Ares podcast.
awesome. Take care of yourselves, everyone. See you next time.
That's
See
your
ya.
lot.
That's your lot.
Bye bye.